I get back from the flower dance at 10, which is pretty normal, but it doesn't feel like I'm on my farm. It feels like I've walked into someone else's to-do list. That's not pretty normal. Everything I've laid down looks untidy, everything over here just hasn't been dealt with, and in the middle, machines which make stuff, fields which grow stuff, paths that have been thrown together, kegs outside the front door which tell you everything about my priorities. So standing here in the dark, with a bit of money in my pocket and a coffee problem I've just gotten under control, I should be ready for the next thing. Instead, I'm looking around and thinking, right, what's the fix? A 25 grand lava sword, or a star drop that's 20. Funny that. Like there's a price range fixed to improving me. I don't know if I should be happy it's affordable or insulted it's not higher. One makes me stronger, one makes me last longer. Both sound useful, neither of them tidies the mess, or reloads the machines, or organises the side of the farm I've been pretending doesn't exist. That's the thing about cash in Stardew, it looks like an answer until you realise it can't actually do the job you want it to. So I spend a bit of time wandering around, looking at what needs sorting. What you might call a to-do list will probably sound to me like a list of problems. It doesn't matter what it's called, I need to figure out what fix I believe in first. By the time I wake up I've decided. It's not because the farm has stopped needing things, because the Skull Cavern's been hanging over me since I walked in and realised it wasn't interested in easing me in. Iridium is the material now. Iridium for better tools, iridium for sprinklers, iridium for that lovely little feeling of being one tier closer to the top of something. The first trip was bad, let's forget the second even happened. Heading back with the same setup clearly isn't an option, and honestly, if optimism helped, I'd have started stockpiling that last week. This time we're talking bombs, staircases, triple shot espressos, and a lava sword. That should sound a lot like preparation to enter a cave and smash some rocks. That's because it is. It's just, the lava sword shop doesn't open until 2 and that's a few hours away. That means I can't leave an upgraded barn half empty. Marnie sells me 4 goats, and wow, they're pricey. I pop into Clint's to drop off my hoe for an upgrade. I head into Pierre's to buy some grass for the animals and find his secret stash. I don't exactly know how or why I've ended up in Pierre's bedroom, and before I have the chance to go down a rabbit hole I'd rather not, Pierre's happy to let me know he's not particularly enamoured. Either way, I make sure I buy the grass and lay it down for the cows and goats. By the time I finally reach Marlon's, it feels less like I'm preparing for an adventure and more like I've had to survive a round of chores to earn the right to go. Still, I buy the sword, and I'll be honest, it feels good. Not noble, not restrained, good. Like for once I'm not kidding myself, more power is just the sensible answer. The difference is immediate. This slime gets walloped, the first serpent dies quicker than I'm used to. With bombs in the bag and espresso in the blood, the whole place changes shape. Not completely. I'm still in a cave with mummies, serpents, holes in the floor and noises that suggest I shouldn't get too comfortable. But for the first time, I don't feel underqualified. It feels like a place I've shown up to with a plan. Bombs that matter, coffee that matters, a sword that really matters. I'm moving quicker, hitting harder, getting deeper before time starts arguing with me. It's not a flawless experience. I'm still getting to know my bombs and they're still getting to know me. So when I trap myself in this little space here, it's fine. No one handles this sort of growth gracefully. But I keep moving. Holes drop me further, serpents get chopped down before they can introduce themselves, and somewhere along the way, I stop feeling like I'm just surviving. I start feeling competent. Now, I know. Floor 25 of the Skull Cavern isn't exactly the sort of achievement that gets carved into a stone tablet, but for me, this is huge. Because it's not the kind of success that feels accidental. It's not me crawling out of a cave at 9:30 telling myself the cave nearly respected me. This is progress with a proper reason behind it. A sword that works, bombs that work, coffee that works, and iridium that starts showing up like it's finally got the message. When it's time to leave, with a decent haul and a better sense of what the cavern expects, the thought that follows me home is simple. Good. One front's moving. The trouble I have with getting one front moving is that it doesn't quiet the others. If anything, it gives them room to speak up. The patter of rain on Friday morning should make for a calmer day. Key rewards me with cash for reaching floor 25, which is nice. Clint sends a gold bar, also nice. Then Gus wants a jade, which is less nice because occasionally running back and forth between the farm and town isn't the most exciting way to spend my time. And if I do it later always tends to get delayed by something else. But that might be more of a reflection of the way I manage things. I pop into Pierre's and grab a pomegranate sapling. I don't need pomegranate, I think I'm doing okay without it, but there's a bundle that does. It's just more than a sapling. It's another layout I need to think about, another rule to add to the list. If I'm following rules, popping it by the apple and peach tree makes sense. And now things look a little less busy in this area, I wonder what else I can clear. This area by the pond, followed by this spot too, and I don't remember waking up today and thinking, today is expansion day. Saturday has a familiar beat. Emily's at the farm to tell me about sewing machines of all things, all because I found a bit of cloth at the Skull Cavern earlier in the week. I appreciate the generosity, but I'm more concerned about how she knows what's in my storage. The hoe is ready at Clint's, and I'll definitely need that before summer arrives. Robin's always excited to install another upgrade at the farm, and this time it's a fish pond. And back at the farm, the problem that was an abundance of coffee beans is now looking like the opposite. Now a more reasonable person thinks 12 kegs are doing the job. They might even calculate how much espresso they need for next week, next month, next year. I'm a little different. The moment I've got a system under control, stability becomes invisible and I start seeing capacity. So down go 4 sprinklers and the plantation takes over a bit more of the farm. If I'm sorting things out, then this botched path has needed dealing with for an age. Once that's done, I find myself drifting back up towards the fruit trees, because now I've made a bit of space around here, I can see what the area could become, and that's always dangerous. Over the last couple of days I've planted a pomegranate sapling, bought a pond, dealt with a path, expanded the plantation, and started to open up another area of the farm. Which sounds like quite a lot when you say it quickly. Living through it didn't feel like quite a lot. It felt like movement, useful movement, but not arrival, not even close. Sunday starts in the kitchen, eggs and milk, then a parsnip, and there's a farmer's lunch ready to devour. What actually happened was the Queen of Sauce taught me how to make a lucky lunch. I mean, just the name meant I had to check out the recipe. Then I had a look at a few of the others, remembered I've got a house upgrade I barely use, and storage chests full of ingredients. Before you know it, I've not said hi to Billions, and I'm running 2 buffs at the same time. That's the sort of discovery that should earn its own quiet moment of awe. It doesn't. It gets me thinking about the desert, about the Skull Cavern, about more iridium and better runs. You see how quickly it happens? I stumble across a minor advantage and my brain immediately turns it into the next performance model. I don't even think about the impact of the farmer's lunch buff, because I'm already making iridium bars, with an eye on iridium sprinklers. Now I know what the tooltip says, but I've played enough games to know what an item says, and what it actually does in practice occasionally has a complicated relationship. So I build a little test patch. It starts modest, then quickly stops. If I'm serious about this, I'll need a scarecrow and a lightning rod. While I'm waiting for the iridium bars, I spot a lovely sounding glowstone ring, which adds the right level of dramatic light for a man who likes to bring a bit of drama to a farming simulator. By the time I'm done, what started as a test patch resembles more of an experimental outpost. Still, spring is over. The Skull Cavern run worked, the coffee setup works, the fields are ready for seeds, the farm's expanding, the sprinkler test is ready, and I go to bed with the sort of warm feeling I've learnt not to trust. The feeling that maybe I've used the end of spring well. Summer immediately lets me know the end of spring wasn't the success I thought. I don't even get to sip my espresso before noticing the prep work I did hasn't paid off. Yesterday I harvested everything, hoping the tiles wouldn't dry up and they'd be ready to go this morning. I got that wrong. Then I get to the test patch, got that wrong too. And that's one of Stardew's nastier habits. It doesn't always punish you, sometimes it waits for you to discover your version of prepared and its version aren't the same thing. Anyway, I'm tired of just holding this espresso. Let's get to work. Starting with the animals. Billions first, kegs next, the coop gets sorted, followed by the barn, and a fish pond that's ready for a fish. I don't know what to pop inside, so I apply a little me logic. The pricier, the better, right? So I look for the most expensive fish, or the second most expensive. The legend is occupied, and in goes a blobfish. I'm drawn to the empty spot next to the fish pond because it doesn't stay empty for long and Robin's going to be back on the farm tomorrow building another pond. I grab seeds from Pierre, give out a few flowers around town. Then I walk into Jody making popcorn and the noise serves Kent a reminder of the war, which lands like a reminder that not everyone in this town is consumed by layouts and machines. When I'm back on the farm, today stops being the day summer has started and becomes summer has started and I'm repairing my assumptions. The trellis zone first, then the flowers, then the main farming zones. That's when I noticed that the withered strawberries stayed watered, which means if I'd just planted parsnips everywhere yesterday, I could have saved myself a mountain of effort. For a price, of course. Always a price. I'm not annoyed, not angry, but it makes me stop for a moment and look at the screen and quietly rearrange my understanding of what I thought I'd done well. I carry on because what else am I going to do? The farming zones get sorted right as I start to flag, obviously. I rebuild the test zone and this time fill it with wheat seeds. And to cap the day off, what was the point in loading green beans into kegs when the juice sells for 90 each? 90. That was dumb. Tuesday is a better day, that's almost more annoying. Overnight a fairy turned up and gifted me a trellis zone. The iridium sprinkler works properly. A clean 5x5 block of order, which should feel like a finish, not the start of wanting more. I get distracted by the first peach from a fruit tree. Yep, just one. A whole tree for one peach. The goats start producing milk, and I never thought I'd be the kind of farmer that would fill up a chest with artisan products. But here we are. The one peach leads me to mapping out where more fruit trees could go, but that's kind of difficult when there's an untidy forest blocking the view. Originally, I came here to remove the test zone and replant the wheat seeds. Okay, we both know that's not entirely true. I was going to make another couple of iridium sprinkler zones, but I've picked up quartz instead of batteries. Simple mistake. The pace at which I make the new zones I'd describe as disappointingly committed. By the time I'm done it's late, properly late, and somewhere in the dark, sprinting across the farm, a thought lands that would have sounded ridiculous a couple of days ago. Shouldn't I be getting more iridium, not more fish ponds? So when I wake up on Wednesday, I mean it. I'm going to the desert, back to the Skull Cavern. Not just for the iridium, to prove Thursday wasn't a one-off. And if I'm being honest, I could do with a bit of space from the farm. For a bit, not forever, but long enough to make the details of every corner a little hazier. It doesn't mean I can ignore the farm completely. I still have to do my least favourite job of them all, milking. I know there's salvation from milking at Marnie's ranch, so I head over, and with a 25,000 price tag attached to freedom, it's probably for another day. It's weird that, another improvement that costs the same as the others. I grab the bombs and staircases, cook up some pumpkin soup, double check I've got everything, and as I'm about to step on the bus, I should have put that extra scarecrow by the new iridium zones, which is a really quick fix. When I get there, luckily I can grab the peach that's grown too. Okay, maybe it's one peach every day. Once the scarecrows are down, any half-decent farming zone needs a lightning rod too. Simple oversights I've made before. The trees down by the wheat aren't ideal, and spending a few minutes tidying them up isn't going to hurt. But chopping trees leads me down the path of paths. It doesn't need to be final, just less muddy. While I'm doing that, I spot the weeds, and they never look important until they've spread into a problem, so I clear the field of those. Clearing weeds takes me straight to the new fish pond, which looks great alongside the first, and before I go, a new fish pond also needs a new fish. I grab a super cucumber, and while I'm at it, a third fish pond would really finish off that area. So Robin gets hired for the third time in less than a week. I take the fastest route towards the bus stop and spot Demetrius wants a sweet pea. When I notice the time, is it even worth going? I've still got a super cucumber waiting for a home in a pond, braziers, lightning rods and scarecrows to install, a sweet pea to deliver, and half a day has passed since I made that pumpkin soup. So instead of bringing back a backpack full of improvements, I'm reloading the coffee kegs, then rearranging my flower storage. It wasn't my choice, it wasn't my plan, it's just, there's always something.